Hey everyone. So I wanted to show how to complete the part three part of the Developing Ideas document where we present the chosen design and justify its selection. So what that really entails is you're going to choose an idea. I got started on a part of it down here for a second. I'll explain. Hang on, the bell. Sorry. I'll explain that in a moment. But so you're going to choose a design. So from up here, you are going to take a design that you picked, and I never typed a title up here. I'm going to call this the lobster tongs. Okay, and this is one of the examples that I've demoed in some other videos. So the object is someone has to sort of pull apart these two tongs. There's a rubber band there, so it makes it hard, which is like opening a chip bag. And they're going to move lobsters. There's a little note about lobsters down here. Into a box up here. So what I would suggest that you guys do is you copy and paste your design specs. So I'm going to go up to the top here. And if you already figured this out, you can skip ahead. There's a part where I talk about recording the video. But so you can select all these, right click, copy, come down here. You can paste them. And I already pasted mine, but if you go in here and you just do a Control V, it might paste them with the grid on it. You can do it that way. You can also say right click and paste without formatting, and it'll just paste them as a list. And if you paste them close to these, it will paste them without the formatting. It'll add them right in there as bullet points. So I'm going to just undo what I just showed you just so I can add in the rest of this. But then you're going to go through and you're just going to basically, okay, it uses fancy words here. It says justify fully and critically why you chose this design. Be sure to include detailed reference to your design specifications. What that really means is I want you to actually go through one by one and say this was one design spec and this is how this toy meets it. This is another design spec. This is how this toy meets it. This is another one. This is how it meets it. You're going to go through like that. So I'm going to do that right now. And again, if you don't want to watch this, you should be able to skip ahead. I'm going to have this chopped up into chapters. And there should be a part that says something about recording your video and how to do that. So if you want to skip to that part, you can. But I'm going to keep going through these. So I started with one, how is it fun? My lobster toy. How's it fun for a 5 to 6 year old? Well, it is going to give the child a goal of either removing lobsters from the bucket or putting them into the bucket. So it is more fun than just tongs. Okay, so it's more fun than just like tongs or tweezers to pick things up because there's actually like a goal. Must improve the ability to open a chip bag or a banana peel. So like I said kind of in the beginning of this video to you guys, and you're not making a video like I'm making right here. I'm going to show you what kind of video I want. I only want like 30 seconds to a minute. So you're going to, so how do my lobster tongs improve the ability to open a chip bag? They will make the user pull on the two sides of the tongs so that they can close the tongs on a lobster. This action is similar to opening a chip bag because you have to pull apart. And I'm going to keep going. How is it robust and durable? To be honest, it might not be super robust. And this is where you want to be critical, is if you don't think a toy is perfectly robust, it's okay to say it. I think I made the parts thick enough so they won't break, but eventually the rubber band will wear out. The rubber band will wear out. And also the middle part, I'm worried, the little pivot point, the pivot point may break if it is not strong enough. So it's okay if you don't perfectly meet your design specs. Safe for a 5 to 6 year old. My toy does have a few small pieces, but I don't think a 5-year-old is still at risk of choking. All right? And now I'm doing all this to outline for myself. So when I do my little video presentation, it's easier for me to speak to these points because I've already thought about them. Why is it visually appealing? The little lobsters will be red. Actually, live lobsters wouldn't be red. They'd be black, but only cooked lobsters are red. Be red, which will look nice, and the lobsters hopefully will come out looking like lobsters. So there are definitely, my little lobster sketch up here may not come out looking perfectly like a lobster when I 3D print it, but we'll have to see. I'm just going to kind of eyeball parts of it. So I have now outlined what I would say, and I've outlined and thought about how my design meets all of my design specs. Now it's time to do the last part, which is to create an informal video presenting your idea. So I say usually 2 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. Honestly, I've had people do a great job in like 30 seconds to a minute. I've had some people who talk for 3 or 4 minutes, and it's super informative. Y'all know I talk a lot, so mine could be a little longer. You want to show a visual of your sketch. You want to justify fully and critically why you chose the design, and you want to make detailed references to the design specifications. Well, we've already figured a lot of that out, and we have a picture uploaded, so we just need to do a screen recording, which ironically is how I'm making this very video to show this to you, right? I suggest here that you use a screen recorder like Loom or Screencastify. I got Loom up here. That's what I Whoops. So when I clicked on Loom up here, it stopped my recording. So I had to splice these two videos together here. So there's Loom. There's also another screen recorder called Screencastify. If I click on that, I don't know if it would let me do both at once, so I'm not going to do it. But what that lets you do, it says it's got a 5-minute recording limit. Well, look, I'm not looking at for anything longer than 2 minutes, maybe at the most. So what you want to do for one of these is you want to make sure you're sharing your desktop. If you can enable your camera access. It's probably not letting me do it because I'm already literally recording a video. But if you hit record and follow the instructions, troubleshoot a little bit if you need to. Let me know if you need help. I'll see what I can do. You should be able to record yourself just like I'm doing here. I really like Loom because it lets me have this picture down in the corner. I like to show myself when I'm doing these. But so I'll let you guys figure that out. It's hard for me to make a video of how I would make a video because I'm already making a video. So that all being said, I'm going to do a demo right now of how I would actually record the video and what I think would be a good idea for you guys to do. So I'm going to do my little presentation of this toy right now. Well, I'll tell you guys when I'm starting, and you guys can see that as an example. And then I'll show you how to put it into the slides, which is super easy up here. So here's my version, my presentation. Ready? So hey folks, this is my toy. Okay, I made these lobster tongs. My goal for this project was that I wanted to make a toy that helped improve a 5 to 6 year old's ability to open a chip bag. So that was my goal here. Since a 5 to 6 year old, when they're opening a chip bag, they have to pull apart in 2 different directions. I made sure that my toy involved the same motion. Okay. And so I have a rubber band on here, and the idea is that a child would pull on this side with one hand and this side with their other hand, and it would close the tongs on the bottom. And then there's these little lobster pieces that they can pick up with the tongs and put into a box that all the little lobster pieces would fit into. So the ways this meets my design specs, for one, I said it has the same action as opening a chip bag. I think it's pretty fun for a 5 to 6 year old because it is not, it's actually got the little lobsters, and they'll be colorful, which makes it visually appealing. I'm going to paint the little lobsters red. It should be safe for a 5 to 6 year old because they're probably not going to try to eat the little lobsters. They're old enough that they might not do that anymore. They don't put as many things in their mouth as a younger child would. And I do think it's going to be pretty durable. I am worried, though, that this little part in the middle here, this little pin could possibly break. I think all the other parts are thick enough. And I also worry that the little claws might break off the lobster. So And so this is my design, and this is what I plan to make for MYP Design. Okay, so that was my little presentation. I think that came out to about 1.5 minutes, judging from where the time started down here. So that's what you guys would do. When you hit stop recording, Loom is going to give you, this is actually the video from earlier, Loom is going to give you it'll take you right to like a link. Screencastify does something similar. And then you can just copy the link from wherever you get it. You can bring it over here into this presentation document. You can find a blank slide. There'll be a bunch of blank slides. You put your name. So I put Doug Osgood. I would paste, right click, paste, or copy, Control V, paste my video. And then I would, I could put a picture of my sketch. So I could just copy right from my document and paste the picture right here. There we go. It's a little big, so I'll adjust the size by the corner. And that would allow anyone else in the class who's looking at this to be able to see what my design was right here. And then if you were to click this, it would take you, it should take you right to, I think sometimes you have to select it and right click and say link. And now it's a link that you could go to and you could go watch my video. So I know this is a little deep because I'm making a video to show you guys how to make a video, but I do hope that this helps. Please ask me questions because this may turn out to be confusing the way I've done it. But please ask me questions if any of this didn't make sense or if you need clarification.